And I think you can miss out on a lot of what's already good in life when you're waiting for something to make your life complete. Because the honest truth is, if you're not content alone, if you're not happy in your own company and with your friends and with the life you have outside of romance, you're not going to be happy with a romantic person in your life. I do think it's really dangerous to put your whole happiness or your self-worth in what another person does, says, or thinks about you, because that's just not something that's in our control. Hello. Also, check out this shirt. Yup. And not everyone would know this. Not everyone would know this, but that's actually the whole litter. That's Snoopy's whole litter. That's all his brothers and sisters. But I know that. I know that. And what I wanted to talk about today is I think we overvalue romantic love as a culture, and I think sometimes it keeps us from valuing the love that we get from our friends and family and animals and from ourselves and the earth. It keeps us from seeing those as being as vital as they are. So I feel like this is something that I definitely used to struggle with, is like I could have the best friends in the world and a supportive family and all that, but I would always feel kind of incomplete unless I was talking to somebody or seeing somebody or had some kind of crush in some way. And I don't want to completely like say that that's a completely bad thing, because romantic love is fun, dating people is fun, having someone you're talking to is fun. But I kind of had a revelation a few years ago, which was like, through all the romantic interests that have come into my life and left my life over the last however many years, who has been there throughout it all? And when I think about it, it's my friends, it's my family. And I really do feel like in the last few years, the true loves of my life are the people who have been there for me throughout it all, are the people who love you platonically, are the people who love you in a familial way. And I do think I've had a few soulmates in my life. I think I've had 3, and all 3 of them were friends, where you just feel like you're connected. I think sometimes there's this notion that once we have a romantic relationship, once we have a spouse, once we have someone that we're dating, we will be whole, and our lives will be whole, and we'll have found our other half. And I think you can miss out on a lot of what's already good in life when you're waiting for something to make your life complete. Because the honest truth is, if you're not content alone, if you're not happy in your own company and with your friends and with the life you have outside of romance, you're not going to be happy with a romantic person in your life. Or you might, but then your happiness is tied to a person, and that is unstable, because people have free will. They can do whatever they want. You could think that you're in an amazing relationship, and then you find out the person's been cheating for a year, or you have kids with somebody and then it doesn't work out, or the person leaves you. And I'm not trying to be cynical, because I have seen healthy romantic love time and time again, and I've had it, and it's beautiful. But I do think it's really dangerous to put your whole happiness or your self-worth in what another person does, says, or thinks about you, because that's just not something that's in our control. If you're able to build a strong enough self-worth on your own, it keeps you from feeling like there's someone else who will complete you, and I think that helps you have a more healthy approach to dating. And so I don't really have a solid conclusion on this. I just kind of wanted to talk about how I think it can be pretty dangerous to put your happiness or put your well-being or put your sense of self-worth in a romantic relationship, because it kind of implies that you don't have enough love around you without it. You know what I mean? And I think when you really pour yourself into your friendships, like it's the most fulfilling thing in the world. Like, my friends are the loves of my life, and I know not everyone has that, but I hope everyone does experience it at some point. I love romantic love. I'll probably be dating again very soon, but I have been thinking a lot about being intentionally single and what that means, and working on my own self-worth so that I'm less affected when other people reject me or people don't like me, or because those things are inevitable. And even if you haven't experienced them recently, you want to make sure that you are in a solid enough place in yourself that you're not compromising your own self-worth in a relationship. And I saw this Instagram post the other day, and you probably can't read it, so I'm gonna read it for you. It's from an account called late night epiphanies _. It says, everything I've learned about unconditional love, I've learned from my best friends. Whenever a romantic interest is being hot and cold, I'm like, would my best friend make me feel like this? And the answer is always no. My besties make me feel loved and appreciated always, and they have not once made me doubt whether I'm worthy of love or not. So this is your sign to start appreciating all the love you already have in your best friends. It's so special. Okay, I'm gonna try to fix the lighting a little bit. And you're gonna see that my outfit is like all Snoopy, but that's okay, because it is. But yeah, I guess I've just been thinking about how we put romantic love and romantic interests on a pedestal in a way that I don't feel like we do as much with friendship. And I was talking a little bit earlier about how having a low self-worth or putting romantic interests on a pedestal can make us compromise our own wants and needs because we're scared of losing this person. And so what that can look like is like maybe you have maybe you're really insecure about how you look, okay? And you meet someone who's attracted to you and they really want to be friends with benefits, and maybe you convince yourself you're okay with that even though you might not be, but it's because the validation that you do get from the situation outweighs how bad the situation makes you feel in another way. And so that's just an example. Like, there's nothing wrong with friends with benefits, but I know when I was like 18 and like freshly in college, like if a guy liked me, I would kind of like throw everything else out the window, you know what I mean? Like, oh, he doesn't treat me super well, or he only wants me for my body or whatever. I believe that you can have a healthy like hookup situation. I believe you can have healthy friends with benefits, whatever, but I'm just talking about in this situation, it was not healthy for me. And because I didn't value myself enough, it meant that the way I operated in relationships was so contingent on the validation that I got that I would ignore the parts of it that weren't healthy for me or that were actually destroying my self-esteem. Okay, can this just focus? Like, what is the deal? I think when romantic love is something you're desperate for, like maybe it's been a really long time since you've had a crush or since you've been in a relationship and you're like, God, I would feel so much better if I just like had a boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, whatever. Sometimes that's a fine thing, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's perfectly fine to be like looking, but I think it's important to be mindful of making sure we're also valuing ourselves as much as we're valuing this other person. We should also probably value ourselves in the early stages of dating even more than the other person when we're trying to figure out, like, do we like them? Is it a good fit? I'm so sorry, this is so out of focus. Because romantic love is wonderful, but it's not the end all be all, and you can have a perfectly happy, wonderful life without it. I think it's just important to be mindful of the love that we already have around us, you know what I mean? Because we can kind of diminish that love. Like, you could have amazing friends, but you're like, but I still don't have a boyfriend. And like, that's completely fine. You can feel however you feel. And all this stuff that I'm talking about with self-worth in relationships and out of relationships is not something that happens overnight. It's something I'm still constantly working on. Not in the sense that I used to, because I feel like I definitely used to have a kind of anxious attachment style where I'm like, oh, like I can't do anything until they text me back. Like, I'm constantly checking, like, did they text me? Whatever. My friend is calling me. Hello.
Hey, what's good, Grace?
I'm actually filming a video right now about friendship love.
Oh, friendship love.
Did somebody break you? Okay, can I call you back in like 10 minutes?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, bye, love you.
Bye, love you.
Like, what am I talking about? That's what I'm talking about. You know, that's one of my best friends. But yeah, I feel like I used to have an anxious attachment style that was kind of like, does this person like me? And like, maybe they're not meeting all of my needs, but I'm more concerned about, am I meeting theirs? And like, do they like me? Do I look pretty? Do they think I'm a loser? Do they, like, when you put how you feel about yourself in the hands of anyone other than you, you're playing a very dangerous game, because you can't control how other people feel about you. But how I've been working on this, I don't feel like it's something I need as much work on now, but I just wanted to do this as a kind of exercise for myself. Every day I'm trying to do something. List 15 positive things in some area in my life. So 15 things I like about myself, 15 things going well, 15 good things about today. And 15 seems like a lot, but once you start thinking about the good things in your life, once you start scanning for them more, you start seeing them more. This is just something I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit, and maybe I'll do like a little series on relationships or something. Not that I like have them, I've been in one serious relationship, but I've been in the dating scene and constantly like seeing someone or having a fling or whatever since I was 18. Like almost constantly having some romantic interest, which is why I think it would be good for me to be maybe intentionally single for a bit. But I'm also like, I feel happy on my own. I feel content in my own company. But yeah, so that's just what I wanted to talk about today. Always remember, don't let another person determine how you feel about yourself, okay? Because you're rockin', and part of you knows that, but you just maybe sometimes need a little reminder. But you don't need me actually to tell you that. I'm talking about like how you shouldn't put your self-worth in how another person feels about you, and then I'm like telling you how I feel about you. But I think you're awesome. So yeah, this is just a video talking about, I think we gotta value all kinds of love because it's all there. So yeah, goodbye.